is, yeah, on the we are on Facebook right now, live on the What's
Oh,
On at Elephant and Castle Facebook page. Hello, Afriyie Donkor. How are you today?
I'm really good actually. It's not raining, which is a good thing.
Apparently, it's like it did rain around Kensington and it flooded the whole area. So I did
I
see some things on the
saw,
news. Yeah,
yeah, I saw, but where I am, it's sunny, so which is always good.
it is. Whereabouts are you right now?
Covent Garden.
Beautiful. Where I saw you the other day and where we met
Yes,
a week ago now. Yeah.
yes.
Afriyie, thank you so much for joining us today. I actually walked by your stall with my business partner, Melissa, and her friend, and it just stood out as just something with amazing energy, and as well as the energy that you have. And I just wanted to get to know more about you and about what you do. So, can you give everyone just kind of a brief introduction into who you are and what you do right now?
Yes, so hi, my name is Afriyie Donkor, and I am a cosmetic formulator. I've studied cosmetic science 20 years ago, and I've been in the industry off and on for about 20 years as well. And now I have my own vegan, fair trade, zero waste skincare business. And our hero ingredient is from the Baobab tree, which is the oldest tree in the world, and it yields an oil and a fruit, which is very high in vitamin C. And I discovered this miracle tree when I went to Kenya to teach the Maasai soap making skincare from the resources of the land. And that's when the women showed me the baobab tree. And when I studied the botanical makeup of the tree, it was a no-brainer for me. The nutrients, the properties, the vitamins was incredible. So I said that at the time I didn't know it, but in my mind I said, if I was to ever launch a skincare range, which I was not interested in doing, this would be the hero ingredient.
Mm. What were you interested in doing before this?
It was consulting, so I would formulate for brands, or if you was a skincare small business and you wanted to launch your own skincare range, I would consult you, looking at the legal side, the formulation, the marketing, packaging, suppliers, or I would formulate for brands themselves, and that's really what I was, happy doing.
How did you get into that?
So you studying cosmetic science at university. That's how you kind of get into that industry, really. But now it's changed now. I think the entry level is lowered, and so now probably you can get in from experience or making your own products as well. So.
It seems like the industry is obviously it's very governed by image and by Instagram and kind of what perceived images that society and culture put on people, particularly young women nowadays. And now your heart is calling you to create a brand that is not only like sustainable and earth friendly, but there's some you've got some experience with going over to Africa and experiencing firsthand of kind of oppression towards women. How has that felt for you, and how has that calling kind of manifested itself in what you're doing today?
So when I went to Kenya, I didn't have a clue what was going on with women. I literally just wanted to do something different and give back. It could have been any country. I wanted to travel, and two, I just wanted to work with women who were disadvantaged because of poverty, to teach them a trade so that they can then earn a living from it. That was my mindset. It could have been Timbuktu. I just ended in Kenya. And when I got there, I was in with a lady called Mama Agnes. She heads up that particular tribe, the women. And when we was there was a bit of a commotion outside, and we went out, and there was a woman with her daughter, and her skirt was literally soaked in blood, and FGM that had gone wrong. And so that really moved me. That haunted me, and I felt like if I wasn't there, she could have died, because there's no money for going to the hospital. You probably would have went to a herbal doctor or traditional doctor somewhere. So then I began to kind of understand that community and what was going on. And Mama Agnes did a speech. That time it was myself and my team. And she did a speech saying that for the first time she's been able to stand up in front of men and women and talk, because in her community that wouldn't happen. It would always be the men. And she mentioned that, you know, in her community, the hierarchy is men, boys, animals, and girls. And it's in that order. And so things were changing. Now, I don't want to take the credit because Mama Agnes had been doing work before I got there. I just partnered with her. So she's an incredible woman. She wore shoes for the first time at the age of 19. She lied to her husband that she was going to go to Ethiopia to meet family. And she went and studied English behind her husband's back. And that's how she was my interpreter. And through Mama Agnes, a lot of fundraising, a lot of raising awareness. Many girls have gone to school because of Mama Agnes. And I've even met them that have gone to university. So when I saw what she was doing and, you know, how she wanted to change what was going on with FGM, I just partnered with her and said, you know, I had to help her because she was in a hut with no bed, sleeping on the concrete floor, and the girls would sleep where the cows were. And yet she still managed to help all of these girls. So I said, you know, you're doing an incredible work, but you just need a little bit of help. So that's how I partnered with her.
It's an incredible story, and you know, like when you kind of briefly describe some of the things that happened to you, some of the other stories, which I'm sure I'm happy for you to tell, kind of more stories that came from your trip to Kenya. But we're in a world right now where, you know, even in the Western kind of civilized world, we're having you know, the issues with regards to the safety of women on the streets here, and even in London, and I'm hearing it from both sides, Afriyie, because I work a lot with men, and Melissa, who you met, works a lot with women, and it just seems like nobody really feels like they're fitting in anywhere right now. Everyone's kind of operating in fear, and it seems to me like we're putting up all of these different safeguards, but we're not getting into the kind of the root problem of the fact that nobody's really feeling connected to a community nowadays. And you know, I'm just trying to you know, like what's your experiences with kind of evolving in your story and seeing different communities, and where you've seen communities feel really connected and when you've seen them really disconnected?
Interesting question. I think with all the issues that are there, I feel like the Maasai community and communities where I've been in Africa are more connected than over here in the UK. And I think social media doesn't help, even though we are using a social media platform.
One that was down for 6 hours yesterday.
Exactly.
Everyone in a panic, yeah.
I think it doesn't help. I think we're living in silos a lot, and you know, we are connecting virtually, but with the Maasai community, they don't have that. So they're forced to connect physically. And one thing I love about them, the women, is they move in sisterhood. So if I bring, just say, I didn't know, because when I went, I didn't know I was going to actually be with the Maasai. I actually originally went to teach an orphanage. There was a youth orphanage that I connected with, and I went to teach them soap making. And I didn't get to do that because the owner of the orphanage said to me, I know you've come to teach the orphanage, but I think you're going to connect with the Maasai people. They are very indigenous. They don't let a lot of people in, but there's something about you that I think is going to connect. Can I take you there? And so when I got there, I obviously didn't have loads of gifts to give. So I had like a pack of biscuits, and literally they broke the biscuit to share with every single person equally. When one person gets something, they share it amongst them all. So they live in a sisterhood, a very connected community. And I learned so much from them when it comes to sisterhood and community. I didn't realize how I lived in such a silo, how I, you know, focused and really not connecting with people. And they taught me so much. So I'm quite conscious of trying to replicate that over here as much as possible.
What do you think the person saw in you that made you want them to introduce you to the sisterhood?
I think they saw in me a passion for disadvantaged women and a passion to end poverty. Ever since I was young, when I think I was around, I'm showing my age now. I might have been about 6 or so, and it was the famine in Ethiopia in the 80s. I think it was 1985, and Bob Geldof did a song called Feed the World with Band-Aid. And when I was young, I saw the children malnourished with bones sticking out. And I felt so helpless. I felt so helpless as a child. I remember I went to bed, I cried, I didn't sleep. And then I saw a vision as a child. I saw a vision of a huge house and all these children and women run into that house. And I didn't understand what was going on. But from then on, I always had a passion to alleviate poverty. And I always had a passion for women. So now I didn't connect the vision, but we are trying to, the money that we are making from the skincare business, the profits, and trying to fundraise is to build a rescue house for the girls, because the girls sleep where the cows are. So we want to build a house that they can come, because there's issues of child marriage, there's issues of sexual abuse and trafficking, there's issues of FGM. And so we build a humane, a decent place for them to stay. And I didn't realize that vision of that house and the women and children running to is now what I'm going to be doing. So I think what they saw in me was that passion to end poverty and alleviate disadvantaged women.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, what was your upbringing like when you were 6 years old? What was your environment like that made you see, Band-Aid, and for it to resonate with you on that visceral level?
I think because my mum is also somebody that is always fundraising, always doing things for her village. My mum's from Ghana. I was born in the UK, but my mum's from Ghana. And she came from poverty. Not poverty as in living on the streets. To be fair, her father was a Methodist priest, but they lived in the village. I mean, my mum's old enough to live in there were huts at the time, and when elephants were coming through the forest, they would beat pans so the elephant wouldn't trample over their hut. That my mum remembers that as a child. Wow. Yeah, my mum lived in the forest with the animals. So my mum is always passionate about going to her village, and in her time she's built a maternity. She's built a maternity ward. She's, schools. My mum's done a lot of fundraising. So she was always passionate about poverty. So growing up, that was always around me as well. So, I mean, I did some voluntary work in Ghana, and we was in a village, and there was waste dumps, like really high. And when I got closer, a lot of the packaging was from Western companies. And I did some more inquiries as to why is there Western packaging in these dumps? And the government had done deals with the Ghanaian government to dump waste, and it was polluting the rivers. The people were getting sick. When we was en route to my mum's village, my mum bursted into tears and said these were riverbanks that we were swimming in, but this is what's happened because of pollution and all of this stuff. So when I saw that, I vowed that when I have my skincare company, I would never have single-use plastics. I would make sure that my packaging was zero waste and sustainable. So it's these kind of experiences that has shaped me into be the person that I am today.
It's interesting that you went to Kenya and and you showed them how to make soap as kind of your gift. And I'm just interested to find out this one, because I heard a story about Western advertising in places like Kenya and in Southern Africa, where you would have Western companies advertising for things like soap and for toothpaste in the very, very small. Are you there? Or are you frozen? Okay, sorry. And they sell them in the very, very small tubes, but they made the advertising so prominent that like people in these villages were spending a lot of their money on these advertisings on things like toothpaste and soap, because the Western companies are profiting off of these people who are earning maybe $1 a month. And it really broke my heart to see the fact that even our advertising that we are just bombarded with over here has made its reach out there, and not only the advertising, but like you say, the pollution. How does it feel to be able to give them that gift of being able to sustain and create their own things, just like soap, something that's like almost like a human right to be able to clean yourself?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, it's a bit, people ask me how you went to Africa to teach soap. They were making soaps from a long time. I mean, isn't that kind of like an arrogant mindset? I'm going to teach African soap. And it wasn't the case at all. When I got there, they was using soaps that was so brightly orange with color and perfume that these soaps were laundry soaps that they were using. And they had been taught by the advertisement, by the media, because of colonialism, that anything African is not good. So, you know, they brush their teeth with, I saw in my mum's village for the first time people brushing their teeth with charcoal. And they were ashamed. They were brushing it. And when they saw me, somebody that's come from the UK, they tried to hide it. And I said, no, this is fascinating. Your teeth is sparkling white and you're using a tree bark to brush your teeth with charcoal. This was many years ago. And then I started to see charcoal toothpaste. So, you know, we have all, growing up, shea butter is something that's a Ghanaian kind of cream that we've used, but it was always looked down upon. It was seen as the poor man's cream. It was seen as, we want imperial leather. For those of you old enough to remember imperial leather.
I do.
You know, we want all of these things, but meanwhile, they're destroying, the chemicals are destroying you, and you've got what is the best, but you look down on it. So they had the resources. It's just that they wanted this bright orange perfumed soap that strips their skin because it's what the Western world is pumping into them. So a lot of it was education. A lot of the workshops, I started realizing it actually wasn't the physical products that I needed to do. I also needed to do a mindset shift. So we started running workshops on self-esteem and loving who you are and loving being African. And a lot of the girls, you'd say to them, what do you want to do when you grow up? And they'll tell you, I want to marry a white man. And then you'd be like, okay, right, let's start from the drawing board. You know, or you'd go into the most indigenous part and you'd meet a woman and her name's Lorna, or her name's Agnes or Irene, and I'm like, well, where's your African names? I don't understand. Oh, this is the name, is the good. So yeah, there's a lot of self-hate, a lot of viewing Africa as not quality, the products and the ingredients, and that's because of colonialism. That's because of Western advertising, and I'm so proud that I've managed to do that shift amongst them, that they love, like the ingredients and all of these things. This is what they use on their skin now and what they use on their children, because they was not using those things. They've got aloe vera running everywhere. They've got aloe vera, they've got honey, they've got all of these resources, and it just grows wild and they don't do anything with it. They actually didn't know. I had to show them how to cut the aloe vera and what to do with the aloe vera.
Well, wow. Could you kind of tell? So I'm amazed to hear that you're not only teaching them soap, but about self-esteem and about getting in touch with their culture that we revere over here, like things like aloe vera. And what would a workshop look like? You know, like if you're saying I'm gonna show you guys some soap making techniques, but how would you break down a workshop? And I'm actually interested to know how to make soap. So
it's on, actually on my Instagram, it's on the last highlight. I've got a highlight called Maasai Project. Literally, we're outside. You can see the Ngong Hills behind me. We've got a table and we've got the ingredients and everything, sticks, and we're literally making the soap. I made the really poor judgment, actually, of coming there with thinking that I can just show them with these tools. So I had a scales, I had all these oils, and the first question one of the women asked me was, what is this? And you'll hear it in the video. And they said, what is this? And I said, oh, it's a scale. You know, we put it on there and the numbers. And I thought, you know, okay, let's put the scale away. We're gonna do it this way. this is how we're going to learn to make soap. So I had to remember, oh my gosh, this is not one of my consulting classes, Afriyie, you know. And then another woman said to me, what is this oil here? And I said, oh, I think it was sunflower oil or something. And she said, oh, if I could have just a tiny bit to cook with, I'd be so happy. I said, oh my God, what have you done, Afriyie? I said, okay, Mama Agnes, this oil, because I chose the cheapest oil in Kenya. They said, can they afford it? She looked at me like I was crazy. Like, how much is this oil? And I said, she said, that's like their month's wages. I said, oh my goodness. Okay, let's do away with these oils. I said, what do you have as a source of fat, as a source of oil? And all they had was cow fat. So fine, we're going to make good old fashioned tallow soap made with cow fat. So we made the soap with cow fat, because there's no point making it with the sunflower oil and all these oils when if they go to market to sell it, the people can't afford it. And if I go, they can't afford to buy the oils. So we made it with what the resources they had: honey, cow fat, aloe vera, and the herbs. And that's what they made the soaps with to sell in the market.
So what's the process? How do you do it? How do you get the fat and then make it into a soap? If you can briefly describe it, yeah.
With soap, it's a mixture of oils and lye. So you have to get the sodium hydroxide, which is a lye. You mix that with, it's all temperature. Soap is all about temperature. It's all about measurements. You get one and it will not saponify. So you've got to be really precise with it. And so you have to know the calculations of each soap per how you're going to do the lye and the water measurement as well. So once you measure out your lye, you've got to make sure that it cools down, because lye gets really hot, like scalding hot when you mix it with water. So you cools down, it takes about an hour or so to cool down. And in the process, you're heating up your oils because it's heat. And when it gets, I like to soap at quite low temperatures. So I like to soap around 30, but people soap higher, but I like cold process. So once it gets to a lower temperature, then you mix the two together. And then once you mix the two together, you add your essential oils, or if you use fragrance oils, you add your fragrance oils, you mix it. If you want to put some herbs in there, you put the herbs in there, then you put it in a mold and you leave it for, you wrap it and make sure that it's hot because it's saponifying overnight. Then you take it off and then you leave it to cure for 4 to 6 weeks. In a
4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, what was it like to watch them use the soaps that you made for the first batch? But were you there for 4 to 6 weeks?
I wasn't there. No, actually, I was there. I was actually the second batch. The first batch I didn't get to see. I sold that. But the second batch, I was able to see them use some and things like that. And that was really special.
So are they then able to use not only the soap for the purposes, but able to create an income for them, so they know how to make it and then sell it at market?
Yeah, some of them are not interested. I mean, we was doing some of the workshops and some of them were just literally talking amongst themselves. They got bored after a while, you know, and some of them was, so then I just knew that it's not everybody that's passionate about soap. So we then also looked at other workshops and seeing what they're passionate about, and some of them are really passionate about jewelry making. So we then decided to, one of my team members, she is a designer. So she looked at what they had and she designed specific jewelry. And when we just messaged everybody and said to everybody, can you buy these earrings? Can you buy, this is the prototype. And literally people just sent us money, and we did that project with them where they were making the jewelry according to how Western fashion, which they were quite excited about because they've always made it according to Maasai. But we said, you know, we tweaked it a little bit and they loved it and got involved in that. And then we realized that, oh, actually, even though they are jewelry makers, we can also show them different styles as well, and kind of ran workshops like that. We also did workshops on the self-esteem workshop. We realized that some people love painting and art, which that was a surprise to me because it was just a bit of a fluke. I just had some paper and was just, you know, doing some illustrations because some of them just couldn't speak English. And then we realized, oh, one old lady, can I have a go? Can I have a go? And so we thought, okay, the next day we're going to go to the art shop, get all the supplies. And then some of them loved expressing themselves through art. So I came with soap making and it kind of grew because I came with that mentality that, well, everybody must want to do soap making. And that's not the case at all.
I'm wondering, you know, when you're seeing people, these women, and they're seeing you with soap, then they're seeing jewelry, and they're like you use the word, you're enabling them ways for them to express themselves. What was it like to see them kind of coming into either a workshop or jewelry making or soap, and the transformation of being able to see somebody empower their creativity? Because I think that's so important, is that we think, you know, I was once talking to somebody who was they ran a charity for immigrants in Canada, and many of these people were coming from countries where, you know, they had to leave their violin, or they had to leave their easel, or or something that they used as their expression of art, and how it just closed them off, you know, just to themselves, but also into trying to integrate into society and to try to keep some of their culture alive. So I'm interested to know some of the stories and some of that how the eyes widen, I think, when people can become more creative.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of a lady called Anne. I just love Anne so much. So we was running one of the workshops with women that had been suffering from domestic violence, and we were doing like paintings, and one of the workshops was about purpose and what you would like to do for yourself. Because literally, when you'd say, oh, what's your gift, what would you like to do? I would like to do this for my husband. They just never had an identity outside of their husband. Oh, I want my husband to stop drinking. Oh, I want my boys to stop. And we were, you know, we were amazed by this. And so it was about just you. You're not allowed to mention your husband. You're not allowed to mention your sons. For yourself, what would you like to do if there was no limitations? And you can express that anyhow you want, through paintings, through dance, through how you want to express it. And most of them did it through paintings. And there was this lady called Anne who used to come to the workshops, and she used to sit right at the back and nobody would talk to her. And she never wanted, she didn't come and participate. You'd ask her and she wouldn't, and I didn't want to push it because it's not by force. And I just felt like her being here is amazing enough. And she'd sit at the back, and I'd noticed her face was slightly, she had an eye issue, slightly disfigured a little bit. And she was just very quiet and just sat about it. Every single day she'll climb, because where we was at, we used the local church at the top of the hill, and she would climb. Where she lived was really far, and she would climb that every single time we had a workshop, and she would come and sit down. And I found out that she also came to the church as well, but sat at the back and nobody spoke to her. So I just felt to call her out and say, you know, Anne, come. And I just felt to say that you're loved. God loves you. You're beautiful. And so obviously I don't speak their language, she doesn't speak mine. So we had Mama Agnes interpret for me. And literally you could hear a pin drop, because everyone stopped to look like they've called Anne. You know, why not? Probably thinking, why not me? Well, Anne, kind of thing. And she just very timidly came to the front, and then I said, you know, God loves you, you're loved, you're beautiful. I've never seen anybody cry so much. She literally fell. Like I've not seen it. Literally, boom, collapsed on the floor and wailed and wailed and wailed and wailed. Like they had to take her to the side room, and she just kept on crying, and you could tell it was from the gut, you know, like weeping from the gut. And I was just in shock. I just thought she was just going to say, okay, yes. You know, she wept so much. And I asked about her story, and basically she had been sexually abused most of her life, to the point where she had about 5 boys from different men. And because of that, no one really wanted to talk to her. And because of her kind of disfigured face, I think they might have thought she was a witch or something. No one really wanted to talk to her. And she just was alone, and she was trying to raise these boys by herself. And so I shared Anne's story to people when I came back to the UK, and kindly a few people said they would sponsor each boy. So we got somebody to sponsor each boy to go to school and buy some clothes and food. And Anne, she would pay for all of that, and then she'll save a little bit of the money each time. And then she had enough money to buy ingredients to set up her ketchup business, which I was so proud about, because I helped her with her little logo. Because she had bought, in the beginning, she had got empty ketchup bottles and started doing it that, and had like, and I was like, Anne, you can't use other people's labels. We got to sort out your own labels and stuff, and
Mm.
got somebody local to do her labels for her, and she's got a little ketchup business, and that's a proud moment. That's a real proud moment for me.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing. Have you managed to taste the ketchup?
We haven't been able to go because of COVID. It's like 2 years. I can't believe it. So we're going to be there. We're going to be there in February, and then yes, I'll be excited to taste her ketchup, and I'm excited to see Anne. I mean, just
Yeah,
pictures that they send of Anne. She's now integrated in the group. She's part of the women, and she's just blossoming, and it's amazing.
I know you'll have a lot to carry, but if you do manage to find a space for a bottle of Anne's ketchup to bring back, I would love it.
I will do. She'll be really excited actually that somebody from the West has requested her ketchup. Her self-esteem is gonna like, you know.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I want to get back to your stand in Covent Garden, and the first thing that you really notice is this. Is it a seed
It's a
from the
pod.
baobab tree?
It's a
A
pod.
pod. Can you explain about that, please?
Yeah, sure. So I really wanted to tell my story through the stand as much as possible, so people won't be like, oh, another skincare company, because there is so many about. And I really wanted the women, the spirit of the brand to really shine. And the Baobab to me is the heart and soul of Tamu. I mean, it's the ingredients, what it represents, my connection with Kenya. So I have a pod on my stand, and it's the actual real baobab pod. And you know, in Africa we cut it, and inside there's seeds, and we press the seeds to get the oil, and it also has fruit, and the fruit is like a powdery kind of consistency, and you eat it. It tastes like a sharp kind of vitamin. It's vitamin C, so it's a bit citrusy. You can buy it in health food shops. It's a superfood. It's very good for your immune system. It's high in vitamin C. It's great for the skin. But the one we have is unrefined, because that frustrates me. It's the refined ones in the health food shop, but our one is unrefined. So it still has all the fiber and everything. So you have on my stand, actually, I think it's coming very soon. Within a week or so, I've got them to make me a little baobab tree that's going to be on my stand, so people can actually see what the tree looks like.
What's the history of the tree? It's like the oldest tree, right?
Yeah,
Isn't
so
it like Mama Earth tree?
yeah, so it's the oldest tree in the world. It's called the tree of life. So whether you believe in the Big Bang or you believe in Adam and Eve, whatever you believe in, the first tree that was plonked onto the earth was the baobab. And there's 9 species. 8 of the species are in Madagascar, which is insane. And the rest are in, the other species is in Africa, and there's one in Australia as well. If you go to Madagascar, they have the land of the baobabs, and it's just a valley with baobab trees. And it's just people travel from all over the world just to come. It's incredible. We were supposed to be in Madagascar this year, but because of COVID, we had to change. So we're going to be in, I think we're going to be back in Zanzibar in February, but because Madagascar, they only had one plane that was flying on a Sunday, and I just couldn't take that risk if that gets cancelled. So, because we really want to go to the land of the baobabs. What people say about it is incredible. I haven't personally been. Every time I've wanted to go, something's happened. But yeah, it's on my list.
What does the tree represent to you?
Oh gosh, the tree, it's life. I mean, trees are incredible, aren't they? I mean, without them, we'd be snookered. I mean, it represents resource. I mean, what the tree gives, I can only think of the word giving. It gives so much, you know, fruit, vitamin C, essential fatty acids, shelter. People, it's so huge, the trunk, people have it as their homes. So there's actual, in the trunk, there's like homes, tree houses, you know.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's an incredible tree. It gives so much.
I think when we talked about it, like when we first met, we used the word like Mama Earth and Mama Tree, and you know, and mamas, and what you're doing, and the women who are mothers, you know, and it made me think about my mom who's passed now, and the women who are in my life who are mothers, and the word that you said too is the giving, you know, and these are the people who give absolutely everything of themselves for other people. And yet we live in this world right now that is not honoring women. It's not honoring mothers. It just is all like you said, it's about everybody becoming a silo and getting things to try to make themselves look a certain way or feel a certain way, instead of you know, kind of going back to this thing of like the nurturing love of a mom and the gratefulness of what a mother gives, and then trying to somehow give that back, because that's what gratitude means. And that's what I really get from you, is that you're extremely grateful. And that is that kind of thing of you giving back, which you are now doing through your charity too. So I know that's just a little bit of a thing that it's an emotion that's been evoked through me talking to you, is just this idea of like, you know, Mama Earth and the tree and the women that you're working with and the mothers and Anne, and it just really strikes a chord with me. And I'm so grateful that you're doing this work.
It's amazing that you say Mama Earth, because I'm Ghanaian and we name the Ashanti tribe, you're named after the day you were born, and each day has a meaning. So my name is Ya, Y-A-A. That's my first name. My middle name's Afriyie, but I go by my middle name. And Ya means Mother Earth. Yeah, that's what it actually, literally, that's what it means. So it's amazing that you could see that, a connection with me with that, because that's literally what my first name means.
Oh, that's amazing. Can you explain about your charity and what it does now?
Yeah. So basically what we do is before I started a skincare range, I wasn't really going to do a skincare range. I only launched it because of COVID. That's why I did it. I was forever content in fundraising and raising money for the women, making money for the women. So what we do is we literally was fundraising. I've never had I've never done a charity before. It was all new to me. It was all new to me. All I know is that all my connections, I'd be like, you need to give money. This is what's going on. Here's the video. Yeah. They need help. These people need to go to school. These people need food, blah, blah, blah. And we just do fundraising. We'd put on an event. I'd do cakes. I'd make products and sell it, and just to fundraise. And then one of my volunteers who's come on board permanently, she's from the charity background, and she was like, you need to kind of do this formally. Because it's like, I don't know, I'm a businesswoman, do you know what I mean? So yeah, we just literally fundraise. I mean, we're doing a sponsored walk, because we also help a orphanage as well, because sometimes the Maasai girls will get pregnant and leave their children on the roadside. And so the original orphanage that I went to originally to teach soap making, we support them. Yeah, so, and I've done everything by myself up until that point when my team came on board. I've got 4 women who we literally do everything. We don't have any companies, we don't have anything. It's either money coming through my business that I make to send to them, or we just fundraise and send directly to them.
Well, I know you are busy running a shop right now, in the market. So thank you so much for joining us, Afriyie. And if there's anything, I know Melissa is very keen to try to connect with you again, to who you met. I think she bought some products up from you, so I think she wants to come back and visit you and talk to you more about what you do. So how can people get in touch with you? And I'll put the links in the Facebook page too, but you can just say.
Thank you. So you can, if you want to buy vegan, organic, fair trade, sustainable skincare products, we don't even put water in our products. Our water is replaced with rose water, aloe, neroli, lavender, chamomile water. So it's end-to-end plant. It's just pure plant without the nasties. If you want some products, it's at www.tamubeauty.com. Our Instagram is Tamu_Beauty, at Tamu_Beauty, or you can come and see me. I'm at 7 Dials Pop-Up Club. You can get the information on my Instagram or on my website as well. I'd love to see you. I love people. I love talking to people. So if you're in the area, do come down and come and say hello. You've got to try the products. There's samples, you can smell them, you can touch them, you can feel them. And I'd love to connect with all of you. So yeah, please get in touch. And if you would be interested in either volunteering or coming on a trip, one of my team members, she's from the travel industry. So we are all organising where you can have a whole travel package. So instead of going to Marbella or Ibiza, you can have a different type of holiday where you come, be with the Maasai, do the different workshops. If you've got anything, a skill to give, you can do that. And then also we can go to Zanzibar, where I get my seaweed from the Women Cooperative, go to Zanzibar, we go to Tanzania. You know, it's a whole trip of a lifetime. So if you're also interested, definitely be in touch. We're organising that as well, because we do understand that sometimes with Africa, it can be a little bit intimidating for people who don't know just to get up and go. So that's what we're there for. And we will be going to Madagascar as well, to the land of the Baobab. So get in touch if you would be interested as well. So that's me.
Thank you, Afriyie. I'll get the links off of you, and I'll put them into the Facebook link if anyone is interested in getting in touch with Afriyie and all the beautiful work that she does, and continuing this conversation, because it's absolutely beautiful. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you everyone at the What's on Elephant Community Hub, and I will be here Wednesday at 11 for our normal Tough Through Tender chats. So we'll see you soon. Bye.
Okay,
Thank you.
Bye.